What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now today, this random IPL video popped up on my recommended. We're a cricket channel. We review IPL games daily here on the channel. So that's if you are new, subscribe. But hey, I don't know who this is talking about. So we've got, how did IPL's genius business model make it into a money machine for India? Now, look, we all know the IPL is like the third biggest sport, like the third biggest domestic league in the world, I think, or second. I can't remember. I'm sure they'll tell me the numbers in the video. So hey, if you guys are new, subscribe. Let's just get straight into it.
Sensation.
I gotta turn it
Very
up.
few of us know about.
Should I put on subtitles? No, we'll leave them off. Damn, I hope this isn't copyright.
The business intricacies of IPL
purple
that
cat?
makes it a capitalistic miracle for the economy of India. And the most astonishing thing about IPL is that even during the pandemic, while most of the companies were incurring heavy losses, in 2020 season, in spite of the ticket sales hitting rock bottom due to COVID, in spite of Vivo retracting from its title sponsorship, BCCI's revenue from IPL shot up by almost 100%, going from 2,200 crores in 2019 to 4,000 crores in 2020 season. And today, the brand value of IPL stands at an insane...
So hey, I mean, obviously, you know, if you pay attention to the IPL, if you're a big IPL fan, you would obviously know, well, everyone knows that it was changed from the Vivo IPL to the Tata IPL, which I haven't heard one person have any problem with, which is a good thing always. So, obviously, a good change.
$4.7 billion, which is almost 35,900 crores. And if
$4.7
you compare the
billion.
broadcasting rights of IPL at the world level, as of 2020, while NBA stood at $2.1 million per match, Bundesliga stood at $3.9 million per
$3.9 billion for a Bundesliga match? That's the Germany Soccer League. I didn't think that
match, whereas the Indian Premier League stood way ahead at $8.5 million per match. So the question is, with so much of money flooding into the IPL ecosystem, how does this ecosystem of Indian Premier League work? How do IPL teams make money in spite of losing the competition? And most importantly, as students of business, what are the study materials that can help you understand this billion-dollar global sports industry? This video is brought to you by Cuckoo FM, but more on this at the end of the video. This is a story that dates back to 2007, and this year was very, very special in the history of Indian cricket. Why? Because Yuvraj Singh had just mesmerized us with 6 balls and 6 sixes moment, and the Indian cricket team had just won the T20 World Cup.
We'll never get old saying
next year itself, the 2008 recession happened, because of which businesses all across the world started incurring heavy losses.
Really?
And like we saw in the ABG Shipyard episode, the 2008 crisis costed the global economy close to $2 trillion. But amidst all of this chaos, BCCI and Lalit Modi spotted some critical market indicators that made the market extremely conducive for a domestic cricketing league in India. Number one, because India had won the T20 World Cup, Indians had fallen in love with the new T20 format.
Yeah, true. That was a good time to bring it in.
Since this game lasts only 3 hours, fans can easily watch the entire game, unlike an ODI which lasts for 8 hours or Test cricket that goes on for 5 long days. And lastly, during the summers...
Hey, let's not get it twisted though. Test cricket is still the best format of cricket. Like, it doesn't... Yeah, as much as I love IPL, T20 cricket, even any white ball cricket, Test cricket will always be number one.
Audience,
in my opinion,
the kids
everyone has
desperately
their own,
needed something for entertainment because they were on summer vacations. And they also observed that the league games were always a big hit all across the world, which eventually drew both great revenues and a passionate audience. Classic examples of the same being the Premier League in England, which gave us Manchester United, and the NBA Championship in the US, which gave rise to some of the richest players in the world like Shaq and Michael Jordan. Therefore, BCCI wanted to build a similar product for Indian teams in India. And this is how, ladies and gentlemen, the idea of the Indian Premier League came to life. And little did they know that in the next 10 years, this venture will go on to become one of the biggest sensations in sports history. So the question is, how does this business model of IPL function? Well, let's try to understand the ecosystem of IPL very clearly. The first set of stakeholders who actually bring the game to life are organizers and administrators. In this case, IPL's organizers until 2021 was a company called IMG, or International Management Group. And the administrator is still the Board of Cricket of Control in India, which is known as...
The BCCI is never going to give up administration to anything. As long as they can hold any stake in anything, BCCI, they will goddamn take it. Please don't
BCCI.
shut down the channel
Then
for me
after
saying
these
that,
two,
but
we have the third
BCCI.
stakeholder, which are the leagues, which in
Woo.
this case is IPL.
Yeah.
So IPL is practically
Hey,
a
shout out to them, we love
BCCI
the
asset.
IPL.
Then we have the fourth and the fifth type of stakeholders, who are the franchise who
The
participate
owners?
in the league, and the home stadiums that provide the venue for these franchise
Oh,
to
right.
play the game. These franchise are nothing but your teams like Chennai Super Kings, Mumbai Indians, and the rest.
What about the Punjab
Then-
Kings? No, my friend, not the rest. He mentions Mumbai and Chennai Super Kings and Delhi. I mean, even leaving RCB off.
The franchisees
that would've
group
been
in
the
the
first
sixth
team.
type of stakeholders, who are the players. And
Can't
as
leave
you
off
already know,
Punjab next time,
the
my
player
friend.
selection process happens through an
Don't
auction.
he?
Now, whenever these teams play in the stadiums, the gate revenue is shared between the home team, away team, and the stadium.
What about the
Then we come to the most influential and the most cash-rich stakeholders in the ecosystem,
owners,
who are
has
the
to be.
streaming platforms and the broadcasters
yeah,
of the
true,
Indian Premier League.
true.
And the reason why they are so powerful is because they help the leagues and the players get directly in contact with the lifeblood of the game, who are the fans.
Mate.
And the members of the stakeholder group includes Hotstar for streaming and Sony or Setmax for broadcasting. And
what about
finally,
Fox?
we have the most important stakeholders of IPL, who are the fans who watch the game for entertainment.
Yeah, that's
Now,
us.
based on the number of fans and the demography of the fan base, we have the 10th type of stakeholders, which are sponsors.
Yeah.
And as we all know, these are the companies that actually want to
Yeah, here we go. So we've got Unacademy. Because after every six is hit, you always hear, wow, look at the Unacademy cracking six. And I'm like, come on, man. Look, not all of them can be Unacademy cracking sixes, only some. But hey, shout out to the sponsors. That's who's paying the bills, I
leverage
guess.
the
So you gotta
viewership
shout
of
them out.
IPL to give
Yeah.
visibility to their product or services. Now, initially, fans are just viewers, but as the number of fans and the attachment with the game or the franchise increases, this industry attracts a secondary stakeholder, which are merchandise
Yeah,
maker.
facts.
This is where the franchise owners can actually decide whether to license the brand and take a portion of the sales, or to set up an in-house merchandise department to sell products directly to the fans. Apart from that, we also have fantasy games like Dream 11 that actually use the game to build a
Yeah.
business around the fans of the games.
Yeah,
I'll
Dream
get-
11, look, last pause of the video, but Dream 11, they only just introduced a new fantasy game this year on the IPL app, I think it was, that I've been doing this year in my fantasy. And it's just essentially the same as Dream 11, essentially, but it's just available in Australia.
The business
Which is
model
always
of Dream
helpful.
11 in the upcoming episode, but for now, all you need to know is that these are the primary and the secondary
What about the
stakeholders of
investors?
the Indian Premier League.
Like the team
and
owners?
this brings me to the most important part of the episode, and that is the economics of IPL.
What about the
Now
owners?
let's start with the first stakeholder. Since BCCI is the administrator of the league, BCCI uses the league as an asset and sells media and digital rights for the IPL to broadcasters and streaming platforms.
Disney
These
Plus?
broadcasters in turn sell ad spaces to brands
Wait,
which
what,
wish
is IPL on Disney Plus? That can't be true. I thought it was only on like Star Sports, Sony, and
to get visibility
go.
for their
It's on
products
everywhere.
or services. So if you saw during the 10-year period of 2008 to 2017, Sony owned the broadcasting rights to IPL and it bought the broadcasting rights from BCCI for 911 crores per year. Then Sony gave away its
Chris
ad
Gale's
spaces to
IPL
sponsors
contract
who
right
pay
there.
to show ads between the matches. These IPL ad spaces command a huge price and fall somewhere around 15 to 18 lakhs for every 10 seconds.
10
And
every 10 seconds. Fucking, I guess I'm never going to pay for an ad.
this
Oh
is
my
where we
goodness.
saw the commercials of Dream 11, Nimbus, Pepsi, and so on and so forth. So Sony's revenue is equal to the number of ad slots sold multiplied by the amount paid per ad slot minus the cost of the broadcasting rights. Then, once the expenses are factored in, we'll get the profits generated by the broadcasting partner. And similar is the equation of the streaming partner also. So initially, when the league is not at all popular, the broadcaster has to take a very big bet, and selling the ad slots in the initial stages is very difficult.
Okay.
But as the popularity of the league increases, the broadcaster keeps on increasing the price of the ad slots, by which
Damn
these
dirty
broadcasters
buggers. They're always thinking with their mind how to bring in more cash.
and streaming platforms make an enormous profit.
Damn.
And the value of IPL
They
has
really
increased by
TD.
such an insane rate
Finessing.
that when the deal with Sony expired, Star Network paid 3,270 crore each year for the next 5 years for the exact same broadcasting rights. And
Right.
this makes it a total of 16,350 crores. That's a crazy growth of 258%. Now, this money that is obtained through the sale of these rights is then distributed between the franchise and the BCCI.
Yeah.
Earlier, franchise were entitled to a more than 50% media rights money,
As
but
they
with
should.
time, the franchise share has now come down.
Oh,
As of
what?
2021, BCCI kept 50% of the money while the franchise distributed the remaining 50% among themselves.
Nah. You can just trust the BCCI to make sure they're getting the most. I love India cricket. I love the whole entirety of Indian cricket, all the ex-players, all the people there. We love it as a cricketing nation, of course, but I don't know who it is who owns it or who is the highest up people at the company, but look, I won't speak too much.
Also, around 45% of the money is distributed equally among the teams, while the remaining 5% is distributed on the basis of the team's performance in the season. This is the economic relationship between BCCI, the franchise, the broadcasters, the streaming service, and the advertisers.
Where are the owners?
And now we come to the individual team partners. This is where we have a company like Aircel that did not air commercials but just placed its logo on the Chennai Super Kings jersey. These are called the individual team sponsors. And these companies do not just pay money to appear on the jerseys, but can also use the intellectual properties of the franchisees like the players' images or using the logos of the teams in their advertisement.
That's fair
now,
enough.
Out of the revenue that the franchise generates, all franchise must...
I just had to mention he's got all the logos. There we go. He's got the Kings in first. I know he did that just for me. Thank you very much.
Pay a 20% cut to BCCI
Very
each
nice.
year as a fee. This fee is then used to organize matches, pay associations, and for other organizational purposes. Now, this individual sponsorship is a very, very big deal because based on the fan following and the viewership of the team matches, the individual sponsors may choose to pay more or less to these franchise. For example, if you look at the fan base of all the franchise in the IPL, as of 2021, CSK have emerged as the strongest franchise with 26.8 million fans, followed by Mumbai Indians at 24.8 million fans, then by RCB with 13.3 million fans.
Okay, what now Punjab?
These three franchises combined accounted for 75% of the total fan base in India, while the remaining
75%? You're telling me that 75% of IPL fans belong to these three teams? That is actually... Damn, come on, man. I honestly thought... I know because obviously Delhi and then the Delhi Daredevils and then, the Capitals and obviously... teams, people change when, Delhi were removed and, all the new teams and they can come in and out. Like, shit has happened, but 75%, that is a
teams
lot.
combined contribute to the balance of 25%.
That's 24%
so
of
obviously,
Punjab, nice.
according to the success of each team in the tournament, and more importantly, based on the fan following of the players in the team, the brand value of teams itself varies very, very vastly. This is the reason why, while CSK and MI command a brand value of $79.5 million and $76 million respectively, the not so popular teams like Rajasthan Royals have a brand value of just 34.4.
Damn. I hope you're not a Rajasthan fan and you're watching this. You just got called out. That's rough.
$1 million. This is how the ecosystem of IPL works. And as a result of this capitalistic miracle, in 2015 alone, the Indian Premier League contributed to 11,500 crores to the GDP of India. And this IPL is just a glimpse of the fast-growing domestic Indian sports industry. And in the next 10 years, it is expected that these Indian leagues might go on to become...
I just have to mention it. It never comes on screen. I know I said last pause of the video, but I have to bring... Every time I see this jersey, I have to pause the screen. This is like my favourite IPL jersey probably almost of all time. Maybe not this exact one, but there's one that's exactly like that.
Become some of the most valuable leagues in the world. And this brings me to the most important part of the episode, and that are the study materials to help you dig deeper into this billion-dollar sports industry. Before we move on, I want to thank our partners Kuku FM for supporting our content. People, if you...
No worries, that is okay. We will skip over that. Just pass over
hours of content library with 4.5 plus rating and a huge library of intrigue. And if you want to consume these content, not just that, if you can get a 50% discount.
Hey, no, shout out anyone who does ads. I have nothing wrong with that at all. It's just, no free shout outs on my channel. I mean, that's just how it goes. People should know by now on my channel.
Moving on, the first thing you need to study is the rise of different team franchise all across the world, and you must try to understand the business behind sports. For this, I would highly recommend a YouTube channel called Athletic Interest, and this channel covers the business of the sports industry very, very well.
Yeah.
Secondly, if you're a sports enthusiast and if
Yeah.
you want to understand the intricacies of how a sports franchise works, you must watch this documentary called The Last Dance on Netflix.
Facts.
And lastly, if you find time,
Great documentary. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. Hey, Michael Jordan the GOAT.
read this book
That's all
called
you
The
gotta
Real
say.
Madrid Way, which talks about the rise
Madrid?
of one of the most successful sports teams in the world. That's all from my side for today, guys. If you learned something valuable, please make sure to hit the like button and
Hey.
make YouTube Baba happy. And for more such insightful business and political case studies, please
Hey, shout out to the man right here.
subscribe to our
Yeah, I'll leave the original link, of course, in the description. Shout out to him. This was a great video. Hey, I mean, it's not like, I've already know enough about the IPL, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this are obviously probably just IPL fans as well, but hey, now this was a great video put together. Shout out to the man. IPL, it's only going to get bigger. The two new franchises this year, of course, LSG and Gujarat Titans. Hopefully in the next 5 years we can have, I don't know, maybe 2 more. Maybe not 5 years. You got to give it a bit of time. We'll see what happens. The IPL changes all the time, so you never know. But hey, that will cap it off, guys. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next one.